Mary Elizabeth. I think you're here today so that we can talk about some of your feelings that you've been having. And I think it's going to do you a lot of good to understand that even adults have the same feelings. And I'm sure that some of your friends are having the same feelings. Do you know what acceptance means?
No.
Okay, acceptance, in the way that we're going to talk about things today, is knowing that you have certain feelings, but you don't have to fight them. You don't have to make them go away. You can know that you have them and just learn to accept them, meaning that it's okay to feel however you feel. And once you know how you feel and you're aware that certain events or certain people make you feel a certain way, then you can say, okay, that makes me really sad, but it's just a thought I have, or it's just something somebody said, but that doesn't mean that's who I am. Because you're a wonderful person and you have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings, and some of them are going to be good and some of them are going to be bad. And I know that you've been having some trouble eating the right foods or eating when you should or not eating enough, and sometimes the way we feel might influence decisions that we make. So before we can even think about how to deal with those decisions, I want you to know that what you're feeling is okay and see if we can work through some of those feelings. So what we're going to do today is it's called How Do You Fix Your Sad or Painful Feelings? And the goal isn't to fix them. The goal is to understand them so that they don't control you and they don't ruin your day, so that you can live and enjoy today and not get caught up in all of that. So the first thing is controlling your thoughts is really hard to do, right? So you can say something makes me really sad, and it's really hard to get past it and still have a good day. Or if someone says something that hurts your feelings, it's hard to say, well, they said that about me, but I know it's not true, so I'm okay, and go on. It's a really hard thing to learn. If you have a bad day at school, that can make you feel really bad. So what we're going to do today is think about what happens before the bad thing happens and what happens after, and how that bad thing can make your feelings change about yourself. So for example, an assignment. This is something that's happened to me, and this is how I deal with it. I studied really, really hard for a test once, and I read every assignment, and I put a lot of time into it, and I knew I was going to make 100, and I actually felt really good about it going in. And I went in, and some of the questions were confusing. I didn't understand the way they were worded, and I didn't remember exactly how it was phrased, and on one or two I just went totally blank and truly could not remember the answer. So when I got it back, I made a C, and I was so disappointed, and I felt like giving up. I think I actually cried, and I started thinking, well, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm not smart enough, and maybe I'm not good enough to do this. And I started feeling really bad about myself. So what I could have done is thought, before that I felt confident. When I made the bad grade, it made me change everything I thought about myself. But it's just a grade. It doesn't mean that I'm not as smart as I thought I was before. It doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means I had a bad test. I'm not a bad person or a bad student. So we're going to look at things that way and talk about some of your feelings. So what do you do to get rid of your painful thoughts or feelings?
I might cry or eat ice cream
Okay, so
or eat comfort foods.
so eating helps you feel better? Okay. How do you tell me a bad feeling? What's something that you struggle with that you might think about yourself that's just a thought?
I'm overweight.
So you feel kind of bad about your weight? Okay. Is it because of things people have said, or why do you feel bad about your weight?
People make fun of me at school and call me fat and ugly all the time.
Okay. But since that's just a name and just a word, you know you're a beautiful person. How do you feel before they say those things? Just when you get up in the morning, before you go to school, and before you deal with anyone that might say something to hurt your feelings. Do you feel pretty good about yourself?
Yeah.
So there's times that you do feel good about yourself, but then after they hurt your feelings, you like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it just makes me feel worse.
Why does that make you feel worse?
Because then I'm fatter.
Okay. All right. So let's look at some activities that we can do, and so we can keep talking, and maybe this will help you think about how you can make these just a thought or just a feeling, and realize that that really isn't who you are, and it's just a word or a thought. You said that one of your painful feelings is feeling fat. Do you have another one?
Ugly.
Okay. So feeling fat and feeling ugly, those are two just different words. If I had you say the word fat over and over and over again, say it. Say, I'm fat.
I'm fat.
Say it again.
I'm fat.
Say it again.
I'm fat.
Okay, does that really make you fat? And if you say it over and over and over again, sometimes the words even get jumbled. It's just a word. And you said to get rid of those bad feelings, you often eat. Does that make you feel better?
Yes.
For a long time or just a short while?
Just a short little bit.
What happens after that?
I feel fatter because I just ate all that unhealthy food.
So you didn't do your goal. So I guess what you're saying is what you really want is to feel good about yourself and to eat healthy. So you're disappointed in yourself when you eat the bad foods. And that
It
just makes you
me
feel
want to
worse.
eat more and more because then I get more upset.
Alright, so you're kind of thinking that you agree with those people sometimes, and then you start really being hard on yourself when you really want to eat good foods and make good choices. Okay, so do you think, let's see, do you think you could come with a goal that we could look at to see maybe how you could tell yourself something else or make another choice so that when you start to have those bad feelings, maybe there's something else you could do besides eat the ice cream?
Maybe eat fruits.
That would be a good idea. That would be a good way of making a good choice. Okay, any of these thoughts and feelings, they are similar because I think when you say you're ugly and you're fat, you keep coming back to the way your body looks and the way you feel about yourself. Let's see. Instead of trying to fight these feelings with ice cream, I think you said you could eat some fruit. What else could you do? What would be another way of trying to make yourself feel better? Do you like to walk? No. No, okay. But your
I like
goal is
to
to eat
read.
healthy. Okay, and reading. You know what? Maybe even cookbooks. I bet there's books that you could find, or an inspirational story about someone, another teenager that's like you, so that you could see their success stories. So I think that it would be helpful for you to realize those are just words, and maybe we could write down a couple of things that you do like about yourself. So when you start feeling bad, you can say, "But I can do this." So what's something you like about yourself? What are you good at?
I'm good at reading and math.
So you're really a good student. Okay. So that's who you are. So maybe we can look at those things.
I always wanted to play soccer, but
Well, that's a good
everybody tells
goal.
me I'm a loser, so I don't do it.
Well, is a loser, are you a loser? Or is that a word? What does a loser look like? Exactly. It's really hard to describe because the word loser is just a word. It doesn't describe you. It's really hard to describe that word. So I think next time you come, we will look at some ways to work on making those other feelings more important and kind of try to know that the bad feelings you have, everybody else has too. But there's other ways to work around them. But it's okay to feel that way, and it's okay to be sad. But I think we can help you work with your feelings and learn that they're just feelings.